Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. This week I have a very interesting topic for you, and I think you're gonna love it because it deals with a lot of problems that we normally would experience, and it is in the form of relationships. So today we are going to talk about love. Love, the unconditional versus conditional love. Okay, so let's talk about what love really means first. Normally, when people say I love somebody, or I adore somebody, or I fall in love, or I love my children, or I love this thing that I'm looking at, or whatever, it's because they are feeling good. And when they feel good, which means that the relationship between who they are right now in this personality and the source within them, which is the life force that flows out of you, the life force that is you also, is agreeing the subject that you're looking at is one of positive, one of loving, because the source within you loves. It doesn't matter whether that external thing that they're looking at is behaving in the way that we don't like, or behaving in the ways that we do like. So the source within you is your heart that's beating. So your heart doesn't stop beating when you are doing something that is detrimental to the party that you're looking at, or to yourself, or when you are hurting yourself, or when you are being negative about somebody else, or all these behaviors that we are deemed not lovable. Your heart just beats for you. And it's the same for everybody else. So the source within you and the source within them are both one of the same, because we come from the same stream. We come from the energy that's around us. We come from what thing is called all that is. So whenever we are looking at somebody, and whenever we are saying, oh, I love you, whenever we are saying, I adore you, which means that we are in agreement with ourselves. And that should be the only relationship that we need to foster. The only relationship that we need to foster to feel that love is one of unconditional, which means that it doesn't rely or depend upon whatever the subject that we're looking at, that we have to find somehow, some way to let the life force within us to be felt by us, and that is what we call love. Abraham Hicks says that love is the vibrational match to who you are, to the authentic you, the higher self, your inner being, the source that's within you. When you are a vibrational match to that is love. And that is the emotion that you feel, because the emotion that you feel indicates the thoughts that you're thinking. So normally when you feel love, when you feel this positive emotion, I'm pretty sure that you're not going to look at them and you are condemning them or demanding of love, and you're going to feel that feeling, okay? It's one of positive. So you are truly in that moment feeling the way you feel about that somebody that you're looking at, the subject that you're looking at, yourself, or anything at all. That is love. I just thought we should lay the basis before we're going on to this topic that we're going to be talking about today. So you cannot get love when you are projecting that person is not loving you, when you are saying they are disrespecting you, when you are saying that they are not worthy of your love because they somehow not performing that action or that behavior that you think that I should be offering love to them. You see, the whole world around us is doing pretty much as that. So we are looking at manifestation of the behaviors. Whenever we say manifestation, normally what people associate with is what you can see with your eyes, we can smell with our nose, we can touch with our fingers. So whenever we are saying, oh, that thing that we don't like, and we condemn it and we can demand it to change so that we can feel this love within us, we can feel this life force within us, that is not unconditional love. That is conditional love, because you are saying that I need this thing right in front of me. I live so conditionally that I need this person to change their behavior for me to love them. That's conditional. You are looking at things that are lovable, such as a little baby that's born, or that flower that is blooming, or this magnificent weather that you're at the beach enjoying that you say you love, is because these things are pleasing. So you are now feeling the love, but you are not able to feel the love when something else that is not what you want that's happening in front of you, and you are not loving that right now. because you are now letting the external environment dictating how you feel, so that you say, oh no, I can't feel the love anymore, because now that I am calibrated, I'm looking at this thing, I'm noticed this thing that I'm giving my attention to, I have a different opinion than the source within me, the soul within me, my heart, the source energy stream within me that's feeling about this person or this behavior or whatever that you're looking at right now. So I was listening to Abraham Hicks. There were another father that was in the seminar, and he said that, you know, he's practicing unconditional love, but he's struggling to feel how he's going to be able to leave these millions of dollars for his kids when they are so disrespectful towards him, when they are not showing the love that he said that he deserves for him to give them his millions. And Abraham was just going through, she goes and explained to most of the things that I'm going to talk about today, because I thought it was such a phenomenal segment that I wanted to bring on and incorporate into the video that I'm doing, and also give you my take on how I actually applied it into my life, and how when you actually do it, you really feel the freedom that you have always been seeking for. Because once you are dependent on another person to give you that feeling of love, or you are dependent on another person to validate the way you feel, you cannot focus into what makes you feel good, so that you are always uplifted and you are always connected to source energy. Then that is when the bondage, and that's when we're demanding that person to give it to us, because we think right in this moment we are not getting it. And the universe doesn't hear what you say. The universe doesn't hear that, hey, you need to give me the love. The universe gives you what you think you're getting right now at this moment. And that's where a lot of us struggle, is that, hey Maggie, but it's true. It's really true that this person is so disrespectful towards me, or this person that I'm loving is cheating on me, or my children are not listening to me. They need to do this thing because it's really good for them, but they're not doing it. So I am now taking back the privileges on maybe the allowance, or maybe I'm not going to go visit them anymore. I'm not going to give them a hand. So that's what conditional love is. And that's something that I myself is also am practicing every day, because the attraction that you are getting in your life is not a college degree that you just practice once and you get a degree and you hang out on your wall and you're done. We are constantly attracting every moment of our lives. So whether it is the love that we want, or whether it is the lack of love that we want, the accumulation of those moments is going to, obviously the momentum is going to get bigger, and then therefore rendezvous with whatever that we're seeing outside in the physical world around us. Is just energy, and the way we vibrate, the way we move about is how we are interacting with one another. So this man that was sitting at the Abraham seminar was saying, like, I don't feel like I want to give them my millions because they're doing such and such to me. And so she was just advising him to really look at them through the eyes of source, look at them through who they really are and who he really is that he's from source, and that he really loves because it's just so natural to love. And that when he loves, he then feels this love, and because he's steady there, which means that he will have more chances of rendezvousing with them when they feel like they're in a mood of loving him or not. But most people, this is what she's trying to break, the cycle, the flawed premise that we're all kind of being brought up to, and society around us has been treating everybody that way. So then we learn that way, so we think that is the way, but it's not the way. That whenever we are facing with this circumstance, we are saying, you know, you need to change your behavior for me to perceive you in a different way. We want our partner to change, so that we say, okay, well, you've changed now, then I'm going to change. Or we want our kids to listen to us and behave in ways that we say, yep, that's a good behavior, then I'm going to reward you, or I'm going to punish you. And that is not loving somebody and letting them be free. She said to him to say things, you are my angels, you know, we've got a lot of things going on together, we've shared a life together, and I'm always gonna love you, you know, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And The source within me loves you, and your source within you loves you, which is your heart, which is the life force within you, is always flowing through you. Now I'm going to keep practicing this until I really own this vibration. And whether or not you join me, whether or not you feel the love for me or not, then it doesn't really matter, because whenever I feel the love, no matter what you are doing, I'm not going to look at you and think it's a bad thing. I'm just going to think, oh, you're just having an off moment, and I'm not going to take it personally. But if you don't practice it and you are just stumbling upon this bad behavior, then you're going to feel compelled to want that behavior to change, because you know that deep inside of you, you are meant to feel the love. You are meant to feel good. So whenever you don't feel good, you blame that thing that you're looking at to change, because you know that that's not how you normally feel. But you see, you got to practice. You have to understand that all relationship that you have to foster is just the relationship between you and you. And that's why I teach self-mastery, self-discovery, because once you understand that, the game changes. So when you say to somebody, I am not getting the love from you, so I demand you to love me, I demand you to respect me, I demand you to validate me, I demand you to love me, which means that you are right now, you think that you're not getting that from that person or these people. So therefore you are using your words trying to change the condition, but the universe just gives you more of what you think you're getting, which is right now not love. So you are never going to evoke love from them. And even if you are just say for example, if you are in a partner situation and you say these things, oh, I don't feel the intimacy from you, I don't feel like you love me, and so there's a crack between our relationship because you haven't done these things for me or whatever, which means that when you leave that relationship, when you go into a different relationship, the same pattern that you've been doing, you're noticing the same thing is going to evoke again after the honeymoon period, because at the beginning, initially, you are so focusing and looking for the positive aspects of them. That's why you keep feeling this in love feeling. But after a while, if you don't practice, you're going to go back to right where you started, which is you just keep on letting them dictate you the way that you feel, and then you blame them that because they do this, that's why I feel this. So you keep jumping from one person to another. The last thing you want from them is to say, if you change, then I'm going to give you my millions. It feels so awful that that's actually what you are offering to the universe. That is not what you mean by you saying, oh, I love them, but because they do this, then I'm not going to do this to them, because that's exactly what you mean. So then the universe is going to give you more of their troublesome behaviors, more going to be highlighted to you whenever you see them. So what you need to do is, if you're in that situation, you can apply it however it is into your life. I think in all of our lives, we are some kind of in that degree, whether it is slighter degree or a higher degree, where we are completely saying, oh, that person's cheating on me, and so I'm not going to love that person anymore. And then you're fully blaming on that condition. It's because it's caused by that, but it's never that. So there's different types of degrees how we are feeling that we need the condition to change for us to feel like we're loving them. But you say, oh, Maggie, but cheating is wrong. Cheating is not right. Like if you enter in this marriage, then you need to be faithful to me, okay? Well, I'm going to do this in another video if you want. So comment into the comment below. I've got a totally different view on cheating as far as love relationship is concerned. But it's not actually as drastic as you think it is, because again, cheating to so many people, it could be in such a, by looking at somebody else, you think that's cheating, or when you talk about somebody else, to some people, that's cheating. And so it doesn't matter that when you're actually sleeping with somebody, that's cheating. So that's just a different actions and behaviors, just how you feel about it. So then you think that, oh, because that person performed this kind of action, then they should no longer get my love. But you haven't considered what kind of vibration prior to all of those things before he even does that action. Does that make sense? So if you want me to talk more about that, comment below, and then I'll go on about it in the next video. But let's go back to this one right now. Whenever you are loving somebody, and because if you are doing it in a consistent basis, which means that you are like this tower that broadcasting the radio signal in certain frequency, so you just broadcast, right? So that's that's what towers do. Towers just broadcast a song in that frequency, and then if you're just tuning into it, somebody can just stumble onto it, or eventually that tower, that station is going to find their audience. And you're the same thing. You're not going to say to everybody, hey, I'm going to send out a bulletin that I'm going to broadcast my signal today. So unless you turn your radio on, then I'm not going to broadcast. That's pretty much how the world at large is doing. And it doesn't have to be like that. So whenever you're broadcasting love and that person is in the mood to love you, then you're going to have a really good time. But if they're not in the mood to love you, then there's a whole world at large that is willing to play with you on that frequency. Then you're going to go through life having good moments after good moments, because you're not going to interact with one person all the time. You're going to see different things. You're going to be able to be in this different situations. It's going to be in good timing. So all of that stuff is happening for you. But I know what you mean. You want that particular person to love you. You want that particular person, the response, to be the one that you want. I get it. But here's the deal. You can't get from noticing their disrespectfulness, noticing that they are not loving you, noticing the lack in whatever that you are wanting, that you are now withholding the love that you feel for them. You are not going to feel that from them, because your attention to the lack of it, your attention to they're not loving me or they're disrespecting me, is exactly what you're going to get back. So you have to practice to be able to own this vibration that, you know what, no matter what they do, I'm going to love them anyway. That's something that I had to practice with my family. It wasn't overnight, okay, but something that I have done, and I know that you can do the same. And that's something that I want to practice for myself, to let my children to be able to do whatever they want. That even right now, they're young. I'm not gonna tell them to, hey, stop playing iPad or whatever and do these things, because I think these things are better for you. I let them follow their joy, because I have followed mine, and I know that that's gonna lead them to where they want to be. And eventually they feel like playing with me or not, that's up to them. That's when they're in the mood. It's the same as me. I'm not always in the mood to play with them. I want to be on my own and things like that. So whenever you learn to own the vibration of love, and you are now unconditionally loving yourself, allowing yourself to do the things that are good for you, that feels good for you, not because someone else is telling you that's good for you, then you're going to be able to then unconditionally allow another person to be able to do the same thing. Don't you want to be that person in other people's lives that say, man, I don't know what it is about that person, I don't know what it is about him or her, that every single time when I'm around them, I feel amazing. I don't know what it is about her or him, talking about you, that they always bring the best out of me. Like, I don't know what it is. And he's my father, right? He just makes me feel so loved, even though at times I know that I'm not deserving love. So eventually, if you are consistently there practicing, then they're most likely to join you. But if they're not, then that's okay as well, because you can't demand or command love. You can't demand or command respect. And that's something that you have to practice. And again, the fostering the relationship between you and you, because once you have a thought about somebody else that is bad, then you know that you're not gonna feel that positive emotions, because you know that the source within you, the higher self within you, your heart doesn't agree, because your heart just loves them no matter what. That's what the heart does. The heart doesn't just stop beating one day when you're in a bad mood or when you're hating somebody. It's just your job to align yourself with who you really are, which is love. I know it's hard to believe. That's where you come from, and that's where you're gonna eventually return to. Your source is like that tower. Your source is like that tower that always broadcasting love. And now you are the radio. So you either turn on, plug it in, and turn it on and tune to that frequency. Leave the dial onto the frequency of love. That's in order for you to feel the love. And that's what you want to do with the people around you, to be in the world and be that light. That's what it means by you're exemplifying the light, the love, so that people, when they are looking at you, they're like, I don't know what it is. I just can't put my finger on it, but I'm so drawn to her or to him. It's because they are now tuning to source, because they are now in resonance with source. They are now being the source that's within them, and that going to the world and that looking through everything with compassion, through life with the eyes of compassion and love. So therefore, of course, they are so attractive and magnetic that everyone else around them feel drawn to, but they just don't know what it is, because maybe they don't know about their inner being. Maybe they don't know about this whole soul and law of attraction and things, but you are the example of it. And it's so hard for them to forget you, because in order for you to live authentically like that, so that that person or the other people feel you, then that means that now you are letting them know that they too can do the same if they want to. But no matter what it is, you are happy to let them be who they are, okay? They are forgetting how to love, and you know that when they're not loving, they are just forgetting how to love. That's what I tell my kids all the time. Even myself, I said to them, if you see me angry at you, or if you see me upset at you, whatever, you know that in that moment I forgot how to love. And we go through those moments. For them, it's the same. So whenever they are experiencing like the hating mommy, or they hating the sister or brother doing something, whatever, and the other one goes and jobs, the other one's hurting, and whenever you are disconnecting yourself from source, you are hurting as well. That's why you say these nasty things. So the other one goes and dobs. I would tell the kid that in the victim here that got hit or being taken the toy away from them or whatever, I say, did you think that your brother in that moment forgetting how to love, or did you think he was loving at that moment? And so that my kid would tell me that no, he forgot how to love. So I said to them, well, are you going to forget how to love too and want him to get in trouble? Or are you going to just ignore it, and then later on he's just going to be in his old self, which is his loving and happy self again, and you guys can play together. But in that moment of hurting, that child, the one that's dobbing, may not even hear what I said, may just want right now to even the field and get the other one in trouble so that he can feel a little bit better, or she can feel a little bit better. But he knows that if I just ignore it and everything is okay and I'm not panicking, then eventually they're going to sort themselves out. And that's something that you want to offer people, is this stability, this love, this tower that's broadcasting steadily, so that people are feeling free to be around you. And that's what unconditional love is. Most people, they would turn their head and say, nope, they need to get there for me to get there. They need to get there and then send me a memo that they're there so that I can feel the love. And it doesn't work like that. So with political parties or with things that we don't like, we tend to vote against them. We tend to promote the good behaviors. We look at manifestations, physical manifestation, and we put them into piles that say, oh yeah, this is a good manifestation, this is a bad manifestation. But they don't understand is that whatever they're putting their attention to, whatever they're casting their vote to, by giving them the attention to, that's casting the vote in the universe, they're just going to get more of. So you can't look at something and push it away, because whatever you're looking at, the universe is going to give more of that to you, because the universe is going to give you what you think you're getting, not what you think you want to get. So you have to be really aware that where is this energy coming from? Is this energy coming from, oh, you know what? I need that person to change because right now I don't feel the love. And when you say you don't feel the love and you need the external thing to change, then you are going to get more of no love. Maybe not even from that person, but from everyone around you, because that's when you start noticing all these misbehaving around you, even though these were lovely people that you surrounded yourself with before. So what did you get from that? Did you get from that you are a conditional lover, or are you an unconditional lover? And it's okay. It's very normal that a lot of us are going through life that many times in the past we didn't know about these things. Like myself, I didn't know about the law of attraction, and how the only relationship I need to foster is between myself and me. Is we kind of want the condition to change for us to feel better. But that goes back to, it's a very good sign that you know that deep within you, you are meant to feel good. But now that you know what unconditional love is and you practice it, life really, really, really gets good. And it gets so delicious that you almost feel like the whole universe, you are at the center of it. And you are, because even though we live in this big universe, with this big world, and we think that it is one world, but it's not one world, it's literally millions of worlds, is because everyone is having such a unique experience that whatever they are thinking of, they get drawn to. Okay, they are rendezvousing with the things that they think about. I mean, two people can walk down the same street, but if that person is, say for example, optimistic, then they're gonna feel like everything is working out for them. But if someone is pessimistic, right, cutting themselves off from source, don't know about the source, and just waiting for the condition to change, then they are just always going to be drawn to the negative side, because there's always going to be something lacking from whatever they are looking at. And the lacking is not a bad thing, because we are never done. We're never complete. We're always striving for more. We're always growing. We're always expanding as the universe does. So whenever we are seeing through the eyes of Source and we understand that it is in the process of coming, and Source sent us here to be the leading edge, to be the sifting and sorting and identify what it is that we want and what it is that we don't want, so that when we allow the force to flow through us, that's when we can create, that's when we can actually manifest and materialize what we want in spirit, right? Does that make sense? Because we are spirit materialized. You understand that, right? You know that, right? And it's not like, oh, I don't want to be spiritual, or spiritual are better than material, or I want to just look at this manifestation and I just want to be only on material only, because everything is intertwined, interconnected. To be unconditional love, which means that you are seeing this world through the eyes of Source. You are seeing this world as there's nothing wrong with this world. Everybody is choosing what they're having, by default or by design, by deliberate, by learning about these things and really practice it on a consistent basis, or they're not. They're leaving it to whatever that's in front of them to depict or extract the feeling they got from them. And the more they feel whatever they feel, they're going to get more of. Oh, nothing is wrong here. We're not here to change the world. We are here to exemplify what Source is, so that people know how to tune into it. And once you do that, that's when you're really at the top of your game, and you are born to be the uplifter that you are. Because deep inside of all of us, we all want to help people, okay? But until you are connected with Source, until you are looking through the eyes of Source, until you are seeing this world through your heart, really, and through your logic, then you've got nothing to offer. When you're looking at something and you don't like, your head will go, oh yeah, I don't like that, and then you start to condemn it, or you start to be illogical about it, or you start to bring back memories of the past that justify why that thing is not good, so then you want to push it away, rather than living it from their heart. So whenever they look at something that they don't like, they're not going to condemn it, and they're going to be like, oh, you know, that person just having an off moment, okay? Or that person is forgetting who they are, and that's okay. More of that is going to lead them to remember who they are, or they're not, because when they croak, when they die, they're going to go back to pure positive energy. It doesn't really matter anyway. But we can't disconnect ourselves to serve somebody. We can't disconnect ourselves to make that person connected. So whenever you are catering to someone that's right now demanding love from you, or demanding that you need to pay attention to that person to give them the need that they want, they feel like you're not giving them enough attention, so that you are leaving whatever you are drawn to, so that you trying to savor this connection, the physical connection with this special partner, then now you're gonna resent your partner, because you have now disconnected yourself from Source. And you're not resenting them because they are making you feel that way, but you are feeling the resentment because now you are feeling disconnected from yourself, because you are now no longer serving that connection within yourself, which is the relationship between you and yourself, that you are not living based on your joy, but now you're living based on somebody else's needs or approval. And that's when you feel the tug of war within you, because the Source within you knows that you can serve the other person, but you have to fill your cup first. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you have some sort of insight or aha moments. I would love to hear what you find in what I just talked about in the comment below. And love you share it. You post on your social medias, I'll give you a shout out. Share it with other people, that these are the more of the topics that you wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Mwah!